coming into the season with Coach Riley and Cade leading the offense. So how excited are you for the nation to see what this offense has?
Super excited. I mean, these guys have put in a lot of work. The staff's done a great job. I mean, it's been a lot of fun, really, since January, and just kind of, getting everybody on the same page, and and then being able to take it to the practice field and start to build some confidence and some rhythm. It's been really good. So I'm super excited, for them to see our team, not just our offense. I want them to see, man, we want to see a great team. That's what I'm most excited about. I like our team, and hopefully we can continue to develop over these next 26 days and play well right out of the gate. It's a hard matchup, and it's hard to be clicking on all cylinders right out of the gate. But hopefully we got a veteran enough group that we can play well early and make the adjustments we need to early. But it's exciting, man. I mean, we got some good people in a lot of good places, and we just catch a little break this year from a health standpoint. I think these guys will be fun to watch.
Jaden Lucas was in green the other day, or
yeah, I mean, we got some. It's that time of year. You got 5 practices, and he was back out there full go today. Get guys in and out of practice. Green is just they're practicing. They're just a little limited. For whatever reason, short term. Sometimes the guy's just sick. And then, guys in yellow are out a few more days. We've got some long-term guys in yellow that we all know about, but occasionally you'll get a guy in yellow that you want them with the trainers working on their rehab to get back sooner. And then, when we have guys in green, they're in practice. We're just got them limited for whatever reason. He was back out there today.
In general, what are you looking for from him, sort of overall?
Consistency, maturity and consistency. That's it. He's physically really, really in a good spot, man. I mean, he's a big old long dude. He can run, but just mental consistency and mental toughness and just a little bit more maturity this year. And I think he's made some strides in that area. But like you said, he was limited. He had I think practiced the first 2 days, and then he was limited a couple of days, and he was back out there today. So just being able to consistently be out there and then consistently do his job the way we need it.
Khalil Barnes was one of the big stories of the spring game. Have you seen him kind of pick up where he left off?
Yep. He's a good player. He's not overwhelmed. He's a natural football player, natural instincts for the game. Physically, he's really gifted. So he's put himself in position to help us.
Not sure if you saw this, but excuse me, Brian Kelly, LSU, put in a new twice-a-week NFL-style injury report. He said it was intended to kind of combat gambling pressures that you have someone on the staff didn't pick that. Obviously, this is Iowa. I would say, have you talked at all with the team or thought about kind of that as a new part of college sports gambling? How much
no, I hadn't seen it. What is it? Tell me what it is. Let's think about it. What is it? What is the policy?
He's going to do it twice.
I'm not going to like it. What is it?
Twice-a-week injury report, I think, on game day, maybe midweek. And he said it was intended to combat the idea of maybe someone on his staff getting pressured or bugged to the point where they might be in a situation where they get in trouble for gambling stuff and deter.
Okay. We used to do that. Didn't we used to do that? I mean, it seemed like we used to do that every week. Didn't we release it all or whatever? It was part of the policy. And then some people weren't doing it. I don't know how we ever got there. COVID, maybe. Everybody just said nothing. So I don't really have a problem with it, to be honest with you. I just, it's really not that big a deal to me. I would be perfectly fine if everybody had to release it on Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. I think early in the week's probably, if you know a guy's out, but it's really, I'm fine either way. No big deal.
Gambling-wise, is that something you all address with?
Oh yeah. If you gamble, you're going to be done. You can't gamble on college sports. You just can't do it. So it's really pretty straightforward message. And we send, anytime something happens, that's just something we always do, whether it's college football or pro football or just something stupid in the world going on. We send that to our players. They get a text from Uncle Dooley. The wise learn from others, right? We all learn from our own experiences, whether they're good or bad, mistakes, whatever. But wise people learn from others' mistakes and successes. And so, yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a lot. It's a sad situation, and you just you can't do it. You can, but you jeopardize your opportunity to play, so got to make the right decisions.
You mentioned you'll be out on Derby the next couple of days before the scrimmage on Saturday. What are some of the biggest things you'll be looking for in the next few practices?
Just continuing to get them ready, scrimmage ready. Like I said, we've gotten in our normal down stuff. We've done third downs. We've got into some red zone and some green zone. We'll get into some short yards and goal line tomorrow. We'll get in a little 2-minute tomorrow. So just continuing our situational installation, but also our offense, defense, and kicking game installation. We just got a lot of things we got to do. It's got a lot of work, a lot of things that we have to, get done. And then, so that's from a coaching standpoint. And then from a player standpoint, I just want to see them. I want to see them, mentally push through. This is full pads tomorrow, the first day where we'll get a little bit of live work. Derby Meadows, it really ain't very nice. It's going to be hopefully hot. It's a quick turnaround. We kind of flip the camp starting tomorrow, from a late afternoon to a morning, which is kind of purposeful in how we do it. Just see them. I want to see the leaders lead. I want to see them embrace it and love it. And I want to see the mental toughness. I mean, that's really, and continue to do your job consistently when you're tired, when you're a little fatigued, all those things. So those are all kind of things you're looking for, but we got a lot to get done tomorrow, and then Friday will be a double day for us in the morning. Then we'll Friday night as well. Again, a lot of special situational type stuff, be it special teams and offense and defense. And then I'm excited to see them play Saturday. Just got a lot of guys. It's been a while since they've played, without some type of constraint. So. And we only get 2 of those opportunities. So it's kind of our first preseason game, if you will. And so I'm excited to see some of these young guys and kind of evaluate. We got to evaluate a lot of guys. We're repping 3 groups on both sides and getting some 4s in there as well with a few reps here or there. So just trying to get as many people on tape as we can and get as good evaluation as we can, by the time we get to next weekend. Because when we come back, whatever that Monday, that's when we kind of start to turn the page a little bit to opponent prep. And, so big week and a half coming up.
With Scrimmage, who in particular are you looking to kind of see, guys that you said haven't played in a while? Who do you kind of need that in mind for who you're watching?
Well, I want to see some of these young guys. We talked about Tyler Brown. We talked about Tink. We talked about Noble and Rono. I want to see some of these young guys that we need some depth from. I'd like to see them a little bit. I want to see a couple of those young tight ends. I feel really good about Brittany and Sage and Sapp. I think all 3 of those guys have really demonstrated that, man, they're ready to help us. And I think that's a good group. But, man, I love the couple young guys we got in that room. And so I want to see them in their first setting there. I want to see where Wade is. We're trying to purposely get Wade a bunch of reps, to really create the type of depth we need, and I've been really pleased with him to this point, but I want to see him in a scrimmage situation. I think we know what we got in Barrett and we've got in Trotter. That's kind of the main thing. I'm really pleased with our corners. I'm super excited about the guys we got at corner. I mean, this is a good group. It's a competitive group. So I want to see a couple of those young guys, kind of see how they manage the scrimmage. And then Hoffler and Ojebwe. T.J. Parker is just kind of he's a guy that's really put himself in a good spot. He's going. I feel really good about him because we know what we got in Mask on XT. So Denhoff, he's already off to a good start camp wise. So I want to see him and Zaire, take more of a role, and then let's see where Hoffler and Ojebwe are, and then. Armand and Jaheim, those are a couple guys as well that are kind of flashing. So, there's a lot of guys. Just want to see personnel and really get a good evaluation on them.
Will Shipley was telling us that the offense got off a couple of bangers, I guess, against the defense. Do you feel like this new offense is putting stress on the defense? Is it actually a good test for this defense to go up
Sure.
against the offense?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be. I mean, we're going to be explosive. I mean, again, we've got all hands on deck. We've got experience. I mean, Shipley and Moffa have played a lot of ball now. Brenny's a junior. Bo, Antonio, Adam, and Cole. These are elite players. We got some weapons out there. And then Cade he's a special player. He's got a ton. We got everybody back up front except for McFadden. So we're just a lot further along and a lot of confidence. And then Garrett's done an awesome job of just putting it together. The guys are executing it. So, I mean, we've hit some big plays and we've missed some plays too. Defensively, they're a pretty salty bunch over there. They're a handful.
Have you been able to see anything from Jarvis Green, or is he still one of those guys that you want to see in the scrimmage?
Yeah, I need to see. I mean, what I've seen of him is kind of exactly what I thought. Well coached, very athletic, very natural. Very polished young back. Easy to see that. Has a high football IQ. Again, he's played at a high level for a long time and has a ton of confidence and has run for 1,000,000 yards. So, he's just got you can see he's got a lot of confidence. But yeah, I want to see him in some competitive situations and see where he is from there.
You mentioned Armand and Jaheim. How much have they advanced since the spring in terms of being guys who play every down?
A ton. Jaheim's 240. I mean, he's a natural pass rusher. I mean, very, very natural. And now he's kind of solidified his body a little bit. I mean, he's 240. He's put himself in position now where, he can compete. And then Jaheim's the same thing. Armand's 240, and he showed up here about 195. And he is explosive. He can jump. I mean, I know he's a walk-on guy, but man, this guy he's got some ability. So they're kind of down the line right now from a depth standpoint, but they're flashing. I think Armand he had 2 sacks today. So we're mixing and matching groups, and how we rotate the groups. And that's the other thing I try to do in practice is not let them get in a rhythm of who they compete against every snap. And I change it up. And so, a lot of times it's just ones on ones, if you will, and sometimes it's twos on ones because we need that two needs to either show he can do it or be exposed that he can't. And so we've got to challenge him. But Armand and Jaheim have both worked really hard physically to get their bodies in position to where they can compete and help us. And we got another kid named Levi Matthews that's kind of in that same category. He was about 190 pounds when he got here, and he's right around in that 235 range, about 6'5 and a half, 6'6 kid.
Dabo, do you think that teams like USC, Notre Dame, and Miami will be a challenge for your team?
Do I think that? Say that one more time.
Do you think there will be a challenge for your team?
USC, as in South Carolina, and Miami and Notre Dame, absolutely they're going to be a challenge. Good football teams. I mean, I think Duke's going to be a challenge. I think everybody we play is going to be a challenge. I mean, we got a great respect for. All of our opponents. Those are really good teams. Heck, we lost to South Carolina last year, so that's definitely got to go down there. And Miami is they're Miami. That's a good football team, a lot of talented players, well coached. And then Notre Dame, what about FSU? You want to leave them out? I think they're going to be pretty good too. I think NC State's going to be a challenge. I think North Carolina's going to be a challenge, man. Wake Forest, double overtime last year. They're a tough challenge. Syracuse, that's a nightmare. This is a tough. We got a tough road. I think there's nobody on our team that's on our schedule that's not going to be a challenge. They're all going to be a challenge.
I guess last year early in camp, punting was a little shaky. I guess you feel better about punting and kicking this far.
Way better. Way better. In fact, we had a little punt. We had a little punt off to finish practice today, and really pleased with Aiden's consistency. And then Jack is starting to He's starting to turn the corner, you know, from a consistency standpoint, just confidence, maturity. He's really physically developed. He's a big old dude. But man, Aiden's holding his own, you know. So we've been really consistent there. I'm pleased with that so far, and hopefully it'll continue to be that way, and we'll have some competition. You know, I love that right now. Like Aiden's having to compete, and he's answering the bell, and Jack's coming. So it's fun to watch.
Anyone else for Coach?
Our sports director, Beth, couldn't be here tonight, but she is dying to know Barbie or Oppenheimer.
I don't know either one of them. I mean, I've heard of the movies, but I haven't seen either one. I would probably opt for Oppenheimer if I went to watch one because, you know, when I was at Alabama, my recruiting area, I don't even know if this is in the movie or not. I have no idea. It's about the atomic bomb, right? Yeah. When I was at Alabama, my recruiting area was East Tennessee. And so I had Oak Ridge, Tennessee, which was they called that the hidden city. I remember the first time I was going there, I'm like, what? And that's the first time I learned that. So I don't know if it references Oak Ridge. Oh, do they? So yes, that was a pretty fascinating thing and I signed, T. Higgins was from Oak Ridge, Tennessee, but I signed a couple kids at Alabama from Oak Ridge. And so I always enjoyed going over there, but I always felt like, okay, what's down that road? You know, it's like, look, some of these shady roads, man, you know, it's like, okay, you know, I mean, they built the atomic bomb there or whatever, but it was called the Hidden City. But anyway, yeah, that'd probably be the one. I'll probably pass on the other one. Yeah, y'all give, I do. Yeah, y'all give me the cliff notes on that one. Yeah.